Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to the March 2020 edition of Chris's Inked Pens. I'm going to show you what I have inked up for this month, and I've got an ink panel to show you the specific inks, and then we'll do a writing sample. After that, I'm going to flip back in my ink journal and show you the report card from how the February pens and inks, how they did for me, how they performed for my letter writing, my journaling, my note taking, and all of that. So here we go. Okay, so here are the 8 pens. The first one is the TWSBI Go Clear Edition with a broad nib. So there's that one. And then I'm back in again in one of my favorite little pocket pens. This is the Moonman Mini Wancia, the green swirl. And what I did was put a broad Goulet nib on here. Of course, it's Yo-Wo nib, but it's branded by Goulet, and that's where I got it. That's been a great combination. I can't stay away from it. Okay, next is the Jinhao 159, and I think this is the rose gold, if I'm not mistaken. I will look that up when I'm doing the links for it. And what I have in here for a nib is the 1.5 Goulet stub. So that's been a nice wide stub, and you'll see the color I have in it just looks great. Okay, next is another TWSBI Go, and this one is the smoke color. Excuse me, the smoke one. Oh, you can see that that's a shimmer ink. Well, maybe you can. I know I can. I can see some particles there, so there's a little spoiler. And then this has the 1.1 TWSBI stub on it. Okay, and then next is the Lamy Al-Star. This is my only All-Star, and I was looking it up because I couldn't remember. I know I got it on sale, but I think it's the vibrant pink, but I'm very confused because I didn't remember it that way, so I'm hoping I'm not wrong about that. But anyway, it is the Lamy Al-Star, and I have a Lamy 1.1 stub on here. It's a beautiful pen. I'm not quite used to it. Even though it's a metal pen, though, it's got the plastic section, so that kind of makes it, more what I'm used to, I guess you could say. I'm more used to the next pen, which is the Lamy Vista, and this is the the all clear of the Safari, basically, but it's called the Lamy Vista, and I've got a broad nib, a black Lamy broad nib in there, and I'm making a mess. Huh? That's always interesting. I don't quite see where I picked that up from, but let me make a smear across my little paper over here. Okay. All right, and next is a TWSBI Mini. It's an AL, or AL, and it's got a medium nib, posts like this. So this one's probably going to be a note taker because I didn't do too many medium nibs. I think maybe the only one that I've done special for this month. And I really want broad nibs and stub nibs for letter writing mainly. So there's that one. And then this is that TWSBI Eco that has the problem nib on it, but it's not a bad nib. It's just that it's not as broad as the other broad nibs on the TWSBI Goes. So TWSBI is sending me a replacement nib, but I was gonna just give it another go and use it this month because it will fall between a medium and a broad, and I wanted to revisit the whole irksome issue and see, and this happens to be an ink that I know flows really well, so I'm gonna see how that affects it, but I can visually see that there's not the as broad of a broad nib on this one as on the 2 TWSBI Goes that I have. So these are the pens, okay, and I'll be right back with the ink panel. We'll take a look at that before we do the writing samples. Here is the ink panel showing the 8 inks that I have for this month, and I'm super excited about this. In the last video that I did, I featured this one and the pen as one of my very favorite matchups, pen, ink, paper combinations. This is the Straits pen, Honest Ink, Bougainvillea Purple. It's just one of my absolute favorites from last year. So I haven't been writing with it, you know, a long time, but it rose right up to the top of my, it was my #1 ink for last year. And then next is a really nice green, because this is the month of St. Patrick's, and this is my favorite green. It's KWZ green #5. And I'm talking about when I turn to a traditional green, a green that makes me think of St. Patrick's, or, you know, kindergarten, you know, regular green. That's the green I like the best. So I'm excited about that one. And then the next is Robert Oster Burned Orange. That just came in as soon as I got channel funds this month. I ordered 4 ink samples, and this was one of the 4. And it is the favorite ink of one of my pen pals. So I'm really excited to see, you know, how it works for me. And there is another little pen I want to try it in too, to see how it compares to KWZ Monarch in terms of how it looks in that old vintage pen. But for right now, I've got it in that Jinhao with the stub, you know, to really put it through its paces for letter writing. And I have enough. It was a 4 mil sample from Venice, so I have enough to try it in my vintage pen too. So then next is the J. Arbonne Stormy Gray, the 1670. That is a shimmer ink. And so that'll just be really nice. And I have that in, do I have that in the stub? Yeah, I've got that in the TWSBI Go with the stub, hoping that it'll be good for letter writing as well as other uses this month. And then, okay, this is ink sample #2 of the ones that I got of the 4. It's Akkerman Gourmet Pink. I didn't know it existed, and I actually love pink. So I was really like, where was I? Have I been under a rock? What happened? Anyway, I ordered a sample of it, and heaven help me if I like it, because it's expensive. But there it is, and 4 mils should, you know, take me quite a ways. And then next, this is a long story here, and I already started talking about it on the PIP video. This is Kobe #41, Suma Rikyu Rose. Gorgeous, kind of a magenta ink. And I didn't know about this one really. I hadn't run across it, but a pen pal sent me some really neat a border on a letter, and also a little swatch so I could see it. She thought I'd like it, and I sure do. I love it, and I got the sample. So that's sample #3, and I'll show you at the end. Sample #4 didn't make it in a pen yet, but I'll show you anyway. And then this is the Faber-Castell Stone Gray, sent to me by a pen friend, and I've got that in the little TWSBI Mini so that I can take notes. And I'm not sure whether I'll use it as a letter writer or not, but I'll definitely be using it for note taking. And then last but not least, another shimmer ink. Oh my goodness, 2 shimmer inks in 1 month. This is the J. Arbonne 1798 Kyanite Du Nepal. Just that beautiful blue. I always need to have a bright blue inked up in one or the other of my pens for letter writing, or I miss it, and I end up going and inking up some more just to get one. So last time, let's see, I had, well, first I had the KWZ Hawaii blue. That was in January. And then in February, my color that was like this was the Barrier Reef Blue by Blackstone. And we'll see the report on that. Okay, so I think it's time for a writing sample. I'm going to set up for that, and I'll be right back. Okay, whoops, I forgot. I said I was going to show you #4 of these samples that I ordered. I've ordered 4 little samples from Venice, and it was Robert Oster Aussie Liquid Gold. Woo, that is pretty. I just wasn't settling on what pen to put it in yet, so it didn't quite make the cut for this month, but I am eager to try this one too. So that was it. Okay, so let's get started here. I got my little shamrocks on the top of my paper, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to at least see this. It's the most challenging part of my videoing here. Okay, so this is the TWSBI Go with a broad nib, and it's got that beautiful Straits pen, Honest Ink, Bougainvillea purple. So here we go. Oh, it's just such beautiful color. I just love it. It's almost flying right out of there like a water hose. Purple. Okay, there we go. There's the first one. If you're wondering about Coco, he is on the other side of the house with a new setup so that he has litter over here and litter over there, and he's with his dad. So it's just that he can't resist jumping onto the desk when I'm here. He doesn't mess with things when I'm not at the desk. So next is the Moonman Mini Wankai with a broad Goulet nib. It's a number 5 nib, but it's been so juicy. I just really like this. I know I've already featured it on here, but I wanted it as my green ink this time. A pen for my green ink. Funny how I can't really talk and do this. Okay, broad nib. And this is the wonderful KWZ number 5. It's standard. A green number 5. Good Lord. Okay. And we'll also put that. It's standard. It cleans out really good. So. Okay. And that was a gift from a pen friend quite a while ago, but it was quite a bit of a sample. It was a large one. I think I'm going to be super happy. That is so festive for this month, for March. Okay. Next is the Jinhao 159. With a 1.5 Goulet nib. So that's a really nice stub, nice and wide. It's actually the one that came out of my little kit for, I was going to say for interviewing inks, for reviewing inks. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Jinhao. Ah, this is really pretty. I believe this is a contender for looking a lot like KWZ Monarch. And no wonder my pen friend wanted me to be aware of it. Okay, and that's a 1.5 Goulet. Whoops, I didn't put that up there, but you'll probably remember. It is a Goulet nib. This is, of course, the number 6 nib. And on the little mini, it was the number 5. Okay, so this is Robert Oster. Oh gosh, that's just really juicy. That's going to be great for letter writing. Burned Orange. I can't write really good around this tripod, but I do my best. Ooh-wee, that's going to be nice. Again, I think it's the rose gold. I ordered it from China off of eBay, and I've been super happy with this pen. It looks so elegant, the color. I just like how it looks. And writes, of course. Okay, so next is... let's see, I think we've got a shimmer ink in here. So yeah, I've got to do a little bit of, you know, kind of rolling with this one because this is Stormy Gray. So this is a J. Herbin Stormy Gray in the TWSBI Go. Not sure how much good that'll do, but I do see that we have a little bit of shimmer kind of collected in there, and that's what happens, but it's no big deal. I mean, you know, we catch it as we can. So here we go. This is, I think, going to be really nice. It's interesting, though. I'm not used to it in this pen. I've used it in a fine nib before, a Lamy fine nib. So here we go. TWSBI Go 1.1. And this is the smoke. The color name is smoke on this one. With... J.R. Bond. Let's see what the year is. 1670. Stormy Gray. And I am hopeful that this will be good for letter writing too. Because like I said, I'm so used to seeing it in a fine nib just for note-taking. And I don't know why I do that, but that's been my habit. Okay, so next is the Lamy Al-Star that I think is the vibrant pink one, but I can't be quoted because I can't find my papers, and it's just ridiculous. I had gotten it quite a while after it came out, and it was on sale. And this has got that really exciting, to me, pink ink that I thought was so pretty. I just had to try it. The Akkerman Gourmet Pink, for a named, you know, for Aziza's channel, Gourmet Pens. So Lamy Al-Star. And it's the 1.1 Lamy nib with the Akkerman. Okay, I got to remember, with the Lamy stubs, they're much more, they're more similar to the calligraphy nib than the more rounded ones that come on the TWSBI. So I just need to remember that and make sure I'm not digging into the paper or any such a thing as that. But Akkerman, okay, Gourmet Pink. And I'm actually not used to, I would usually be doing cursive more, so let's do a couple of, when I have this particular stub. It's quite a bit, I don't know, it feels thinner, but it doesn't, this doesn't feel dry or anything. It just feels different than the TWSBI stub. So that's something that I'm still getting used to. So there we have that one. And another Lamy. Here's the Lamy Vista. This is an old standby, but I don't have the fine nib on it like I normally do. I have the broad nib on it, and I've got that gorgeous Kobe ink in it. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see this because I know it's going to be pretty. It's just a drop dead gorgeous ink that's very dangerous for me to look at. For my wallet, for my savings for my glasses, let's put it that way. Okay, so we've got Lamy Vista. This, it has such incredible shading, it's crazy. I'm hoping you can see that. With a broad nib, Kobe, number 41, and then it's got a name too. It's got Suma. That's really smooth. I'm loving how that feels. Rikyu, that's almost like that green one that I had last month. Rikyu Sha or Cha for tea. Okay, Rose. Okay, I predict this is going to be one I reach for every time I write a letter this month. That is so pretty. Okay, and then next is the TWSBI Mini with the Graf von Faber-Castell Stone Gray. So that's gonna be fun. I love gray ink, and that's why I'm saying that. I'm not being, you know, I'm not being silly for once. Oh, it's so weird not having Coco over here. That's the kitten, for anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about. Okay, TWSBI. You know, this nib has tended to be a little dry, but it's really loving this ink. That's a nice wet flow with this ink. Okay, medium nib, and then Graf von Faber-Castell and Stone Gray. I keep switching back and forth from cursive to print, but oh well. That is going to be really enjoyable, I can tell already. That's going to be really nice. And thank you to the pen friend that sent the sample of that. I'm really enjoying it. It turned out to be something like 15 mils. Very nice sample. Okay, next is the final shimmer ink in the TWSBI Eco Translucent Blue with the broad nib that I felt cheated out of. I really felt like it wasn't really a broad nib, and I don't know if eventually we'll be able to compare it with that top one and see, but we'll try. So I've got to do a little bit of, let me show you. There's quite a bit of settling and so forth there too. See that? And so I need to slosh that around a little. Actually, this one here, it mixes faster, I think, than the Stormy Gray, but I don't know why. Who knows? I had been kind of playing with that last time I had it inked up too, and I noticed it mixes pretty quickly. Oops. Hopefully, yeah, it looks like I'm filling the cap. That's cute. I didn't get the section dirty. Okay, let's see if we, guess I got a little carried away with that. I'll have to get a Q-tip. Hope I have one here. Nope, I'll have to go get one. Okay, but let's get our sample down. We can always clean that up. Oh, that is gorgeous. I love this ink. I loved it so much I got a bottle. So that was last year. Okay, so we're talking TWSBI Eco. I almost wrote Go. Okay, this is a really wet ink, so it does the nib a favor. It bumps it up just a little, and it doesn't irk me quite as much. Broad nib, or so they say. I say it's somewhere between a medium and a broad, with J. Herbin 1798. I get those numbers all mixed up. Kianit du Nepal. Another beautiful shimmering. Let's see here. I'm losing daylight, so that isn't going to be very helpful. Hopefully it doesn't give you too much of a headache. I can still see a difference between the TWSBI Go Broad and the TWSBI Eco Broad on this one. Just not as broad. Whoa, yep, I made a mess. Nice sweet mess because I jostled that too much. So there I go, making a mess all over. At least I didn't get it on my clothes. Yeah, note to self, take it easy when you're trying to agitate your shimmer ink, because I'll go, as soon as we finish, I'll go and get that cap cleaned out. I certainly don't want a stained cap liner or whatever. Okay, so now we've seen what I'm going to write with this month. A pretty good vision of what the inks are. Let's turn back to last month and let's go over the report card that I did. And I'm going to have to, let's see, fix things so that maybe you can end up being able to see it. Well, I hope. Anyway, I am losing daylight, so. Okay, so first I had the Noodler's Ahab with a broad Yo-Wo nib and Diamine Red Dragon. This was for February 2020. I gave it a B because it had good flow and color. I wasn't reaching for it. So this is highly personal. It's not really, you know, a report card. Yours would come out different probably. But I wasn't reaching for it as much. I found that nib was too stiff because I was kind of used to the flex on the Ahab, and I have a hard time controlling that flexible nib, and that's just something though I think I'm going to put it back on and work with it. Try to get it, you know, in there just right so that it doesn't just, you know, pour onto the page, but yet that I could still get a little flex out of it. So anyway, that's just note to self to work on that one. And then next was the Moonman M600S, that beautiful purple pen that was a gift for my 2-year anniversary on YouTube from a pen friend. I had put a broad Yo-Wo nib in it and Ink Journal Sugar Plum. I gave it an A. It was very enjoyable. That was really nice, and I used it a lot for letter writing. Then next up was the Jinhao X750 with a 1.5 Goulet nib. So you see that nib gets around because it was in a Jinhao last month and now it's in a 159. And I put the Diamine Hope Pink. Now, I gave that a B because it was just so neon pink that in the letters I kind of like felt guilty when I wrote with it because I felt like people are going to need sunglasses. But other than that, though, it is really, really pretty. It just, a little bit goes a long way with that. So it might have been better even in a medium nib or something. I'm not sure. So then next was the TWSBI Go with a broad nib and Blackstone Barrier Reef Blue. Remember I was telling you, I always have to have something with a bright blue every month or I'm not happy. And I like that, but I gave it a B- because the ink seemed a little dry. I'm really spoiled because I had just come out of using KWZ Hawaii Blue. And I happen to know that Kianit du Nepal also, even though it's shimmer, that comes out not dry out of that TWSBI broad, the Go. So I was a little spoiled, but it didn't stop me. As many of you got some pages of pen pal letters with this, and it wasn't bad on the Tomoe River paper at all. Really, I'm spoiled, that's all, ink-wise. So next was the TWSBI Eco 1.1. That's the purple one, the purple Eco, the translucent. I put Birmingham Boysenberry in it, and it was excellent. I gave it an A+. It was a super experience. When I put wrote dry, that doesn't mean it wrote dry. I wrote it dry. In other words, I emptied the pen. That looks ridiculous. That looks like, I got to correct that because I'm going to come back and think, well, that can't be. Wrote it dry. Yeah, completely. just right down to nothing. I loved it so much. And it was partially that beautiful purple pen, you know, looking at that pen, and the ink was pretty, the flow was excellent. It just was really easy on my poor old arm with the tennis elbow and all that, so it was really, really smooth. Okay, and then next was the Diplomat Magnum. That was that prismatic purple, or I think they also call it John Doe. Anyway, because it kind of looks, is it blue? Is it purple? And I had a broad nib Sailor Riku Cha, which I think means tea. And this is kind of a green. It's probably not coming across as green though on this camera. I gave it an A. It was beautiful, nice and smooth. I did, whenever I did a multiple page letter, I did at least one page in this color. I really liked it. And then next was the Lamy Vista with fine nib. J. Herbin Shimmer Ink, Amethyst D. Laurel. Of course, that's an old standby for me. I gave it an A. It was smooth and reliable. You know, every single time you pick it up, no problems. And just no problems with that ink. I love that ink. And that pen, too. And the nib. So, no wonder. And then next was Pilot Varsity with a medium nib. Monteverde Purple Rain. That was where I refilled the Varsity, and I was so pleased with myself. Very nice note taker, and I'm using this daily. I do wish it was a broad nib, but really who cares, because it would bleed through some of the paper that I'm using if it was. And then, okay, I put notes. My favorite pen ink this month was the TWSBI Eco, the purple one with the 1.1 stub and Birmingham Boysenberry. It was a juicy combo for letter writing. And then second place was the Diplomat Magnum with the broad nib with the Sailor Riku Cha. That ink is really nice, and that broad nib is super comfortable too. And you know, there's nothing like having a bad arm to appreciate when a combination is super smooth and there's just no fighting with the flow or anything. So that was great. So there we have it. I think I've covered everything. Boom, just like that. Let's look at those pens one more time, and then I've got to, once I leave you all, I've got to go right over to the sink and clean that cap out because I made a mess. Yeah, well, I got most of it on me, so maybe it won't take too much with a Q-tip and a paper towel. But I hope you enjoyed this. I am excited because it's nice to get into some different inks and pens for this month. For March, and of course you're going to see a lot of repetition because I have only so many stubs and broad nibs, and I do move them around, but I tend to gravitate toward the pens that are going to help me the most with letter writing, because that's the one thing that I really have to have a comfortable fit for. And of course, note taking on some of the cheaper paper, I've got those Varsities. And I still do have a TWSBI Go with Lexington Gray. That's a fine nib that's inked up, so I didn't include it here because it's just going to, that would be very repetitious because I tend to keep that always inked up. And I think I'm going to try one with black ink, but I haven't done it yet. I'm going to use a Kaweco Perkio for that. But let me know in the comments what you're writing with, and I sure do hope that you all will be able to see this video. I understand there's at least a handful of people who couldn't see 2 of my videos, and I'm trying to get an answer from the tech support to find out, well, you know, what am I doing wrong? Is there something I can do settings wise? I haven't changed a thing, but certainly technology part is my hardest you know, handicap in this video making, so I'm going to try to find out, and I'm really sorry for anybody who has had technical problems watching. You know, I suspect it has something to do with the file type size and upload, download speeds, things like that I don't quite understand. So, but I'm going to work on it, and I hope you have a great month of March. It's going to be fun. These colors are I'm super psyched for these colors that I did choose. I put quite a bit of thought into it. I didn't want to go for, you know, several green inks because I just wanted to have one main one. And so I went with one I really trusted. And then I'm trying out, you know, 2 brand new to me inks, 3 actually. This one doesn't feel new though. It's so beautiful that it just, I'm going to have a good time seeing what I do have for samples that look like this, because otherwise I'm just so tempted by that ink, and it's quite pricey. So anyway, there won't be anything to worry about because I have to buy my glasses. So okay, I'm just yammering now. So I will see you next time, and bye for now. Thanks for watching.